King of Meat beckons brawlers and builders seeking fame and glory. Courtesy of Amazon Games, I've experienced what they're cooking over there in the UK, and I'm here to tell you what to expect when the game is unleashed upon the earth. King of Meat is a combat dungeon crawler game where you or up to 4 players battle enemies, solve puzzles, and platform through a theoretically infinite arena of dungeons. The confident sense of art direction immediately caught my eye. The game takes place in the world of Lorgok, a high fantasy setting with a corporate twist inhabited by all manner of mystical creatures. King of Meat is the only game show in their world. Inspired by reality, corporations thrive off the show's popularity by selling contestants a plethora of gear and legal magic, and magic happens to be illegal in Lorgok. I like King of Meat's art style. It's a cross between a comic book and Saturday morning cartoon. It's colorful and whimsical and complements the ironic, absurd sense of humor. The primary game mode is designed for solo or up to 4 players. You traverse dungeons comprising rooms presenting many challenges in the Comstruct Coliseum. Some rooms are focused entirely on combat, while others present you with puzzles. Multiple classes of skeleton enemies attempt to best you. Some are cannon fodder, others carry shields, and there are more formidable ones in stature, armor, and weaponry. During the demo, I got to play with a sword, battle axe, and crossbow. Combat's essentially hack and slash with some depth. Each melee weapon has a primary and heavy attack, glory moves, and a series of combos that are unlocked the more you use them. The crossbow functions as expected, enabling you to take out ranged enemies from afar. It also serves as a puzzle-solving tool. Combat style is subjective, but enemy types warrant particular strategies. Combining primary and heavy attacks alongside teammates is fun, but glory moves amplify the hectic nature of combat. A couple I was able to wield included launching an AoE vortex that brutally consumed everything in its vicinity. Another opened a portal to another realm, raining down a giant horse hoof that repeatedly stomped everything in the area. You can also use the environment to your advantage, from knocking enemies into traps or the abyss below, tossing bombs, or exploding flammable barrels. Between the combat mania, my teammates and I solved some simple but enjoyable puzzles. Some rooms required us to hit targets with our crossbows to open doorways or clear obstacles. Others had us platforming to areas to hit various switches. Combat can be hectic, and I found the puzzle rooms to be a nice breather between the intensity. You and your teammates are only permitted a certain number of respawns. If you run out and fail the dungeon, you escape with some XP but forego the more lucrative rewards. If you're in the mood for a challenge, you can take on survival mode, where the game throws relentless waves of enemies at you. There's a set timer. The longer you survive, the more experience you gain. King of Meat isn't designed to be a competitive experience. You can compete with your teammates by comparing individual scores at the end of each match, but your respective scores don't affect you individually. Each player in the party is collectively earning points toward the total score of a match. Ultimately, you're all striving for the gold trophy. The more creatively you play, the higher the score and trophy you earn. That results in more experience and currency gain to invest in your character practically and cosmetically. Between matches, you hang out and upgrade your character in the Ironlaw Plaza social hub. The cast of corporate characters reside here, and they all sell something. Fortunately, their goods are valuable. While weapon types have specific abilities, the look of your weapons and gear is purely cosmetic. Some vendors sell armor pieces in complete sets, others sell weapon skins, and some sell magic that comes in the form of glory moves and perks. I've only seen the sword, battle axe, and crossbow. In an interview with Johnny Hopper, the studio head and co-founder of Glowmade, and Mike Green, design director and co-founder of Glowmade, they informed me that players can expect more weapon types in the future. As you rank up, new combos are unlocked for your weapons and new perks to equip that aid you in the Coliseum. Generally, King of Meat is an expressive experience for players. The cosmetics are eclectic, but one of the most amusing aspects is the 3-dimensional stickers. They can be anything from googly eyes to spray paint designs and horns. What's wild is you can place them anywhere on your character, and I mean anywhere. The developer I played alongside shared that I could only imagine the things he's seen. Fortunately, you can unlock everything with the in-game currency you gain by playing. However, they did share that a monetized shop will be included. Now, if that were the entirety of King of Meat, we'd have a solid, chill, cooperative game to enjoy with our buds. However, the game's remarkable dungeon builder sets it apart. The game will launch with many Glowmade created dungeons, but players can use the Create mode to build their own from scratch. You use the same intuitively designed tools the devs use to forge anything you can imagine. While I didn't get to try the tools myself, I have seen them briefly in action. Several existing games feature great building tools. King of Meat seemingly joins those titans by allowing players to express their creativity uninhibited. Glowmade plans to regularly feature the best the community has to offer. All this said, it's left me wondering, what does it all add up to? King of Meat is designed to be a potentially infinite cooperative experience packed with creativity and expression. It harkens back to the old days, when you played a game for the joy of it. Sure, there's a maximum level and abilities to unlock, but to me, the enjoyment stems from the wacky experiences you share with fellow players from moment to moment. During my demo, I had a pretty good time. I enjoyed experimenting with the combat and solving a few puzzles. I had the most fun with platforming, which reminded me a bit of Fall Guys in that area. However, while I like that the game supports solo or cooperative play, my teammates and I rarely needed to work together on easier difficulties. Thankfully, there are several tiers of difficulty. We had a chance to endure a few of the more challenging dungeons and were obliterated by what we faced. I can imagine myself having the most fun with teammates who are down to communicate and strategize overcoming those more brutal arenas. The slice of the game I experienced mostly played well. Controlling your character feels smooth and responsive, with satisfying feedback during combat. No aspect of the mechanics felt inhibiting. We did encounter a couple of crashes during our demo, which is to be expected as the game is in active development. Johnny Hopper and Mike Green informed me they have many ideas for the game's future post-launch. The community will be the lifeblood of King of Meat. Their creations will fuel content weekly and potentially influence the direction of the game entirely as it evolves over time. There isn't a release date set, but King of Meat will launch for PC, PS5, Xbox X and S, and Nintendo Switch. It'll feature cross-play and cross-progression across every platform. For more on King of Meat, stay tuned to COD Connected.